What basic life skill are you constantly amazed people lack? Basic personal finance skills. I was out with my brother who said I just need to pop in here real quick to pay off my TV for the week. And it got me interested, so I asked him about it. He'd bought the TV on credit. Top of the line internet TV worth £700 or so. But was paying it back at the rate of £20 a week for about 2 years. No down payment when he signed up. I questioned him about it. Had no clue what he was going to end up paying. About £2,000 across the 2 years for a £700 TV. But was happy because he went away with a top of the range TV that very day for £20. I was honestly speechless. The skill of checking something out. Not anything in particular. Just taking more than 2 seconds to actually try to even vaguely understand something. I went over to some people's house once to fix the drain pipe on their sink because it was leaking. It had been leaking for weeks and they kept a bucket under it which they emptied out periodically. I looked at it, saw it was leaking from the coupling ring, poked it, saw it was loose, and then I tightened the coupling ring with my hands until the leak stopped. I get that some things can be dangerous to screw around with if you don't know what you're doing, but your drain pipe, shower head, faucet, loose hinge etc is not one of those things. Sometimes just having a little curiosity and poking something a couple times is all you need to fix something yourself. Similar idea with technology. My family loves to have me fix their stuff because I'm so great with technology. I just browsed the settings and or googled it. Understanding how credit works. I was amazed the first time I heard about someone who didn't know they had to pay the money back, but I've now heard about it several times. Or people not knowing their interest to pay. Awareness of others and realizing your actions impact them. Like when you drive slowly in the wrong lane, or because you're texting instead of moving when the light changes, or when you walk through a doorway that others are also using and immediately stop dead center instead of moving to the side to do whatever you need. In public, I'm always taking into consideration how utilizing my own space will affect people. I try to get out of the way and be courteous, but a lot of people seem like they only think of themselves or are completely oblivious. I lived in Japan for 3 years and the thing I miss the most is that Japanese people are very self-aware and are aware of others. For example, when getting on an escalator, everyone will stand on one side so people who are in a rush have a lane to walk up or down. Most Japanese people will inconvenience themselves before they inconvenience a complete stranger. Self-awareness, common courtesy, like knowing to not have a loud butt conversation argument in public, or to not drive down a quiet street at 3 AM with their bass thumping, or blare your music on your phone speaker. They know what they're doing. They just don't care. Self-awareness. The issues are threefold. Many people refuse to see any fault in themselves and never grow or improve. In social interactions, it's about being considerate. When it comes to choices, many have developed learned helplessness where they assume they have no control and are reliant on external assistance. Help. I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas. Troubleshooting. The have you turned it off and on again joke is way more accurate than it should be. Half of my job is troubleshooting and fixing things, and it amazes me how often people just have no idea how to go about it. On the plus side, I've gotten plenty of free crap that was unfixable but I was able to get working with little to no effort. I'm pretty sure things like people accidentally flipping the Wi-Fi toggle switch and using Internet Explorer keeps me in business. Manners. It amazes me that so many people don't say please, thank you, and excuse me in casual and professional conversation. Also, a general lack of awareness. Talking during a movie performance always baffles me. I don't know, maybe it was just the way I was raised. Manners and etiquette are the easy things to get right in life, and they sure as heck matter, yet some people are completely void of them. Awareness, cleanliness. I live in a dorm and the amount of dirty dishes, clothes, trash etc. that litter the common spaces is astounding. Like, people will bake brownies and then leave the dirty bowl, spoon and caked up pan in the kitchen for days. There's constantly popcorn, ramen trash on the counters, food in the bathroom, sinks, and trash stuck in the elevator ceilings. I thought I was a truly messy person and then I went to college. This turned into a rant. Sorry about it. Common spaces are extremely bad for incentivizing cleanliness. Hard to get excited about doing a thorough sweep of a common place when you know Jim gonna take a dump in the sink again on Friday. Driving etiquette. Some people are downright buttholes or just don't know how to drive properly. No indications, no acknowledgement when someone lets them in, can't merge at the correct speed, don't check blind spots, aren't aware of anything outside their own car and drive slow in the fast lane. Learn to drive, you fricks. Improper handling of right of way. 2. I don't care if you're trying to be courteous. You have the right of way. Freaking go. No, I'm not going to go first. You have the right of way, which means if an accident occurs, I'd be at fault for not having the right of way. Just go. Don't know if it's a skill but self-awareness. The amount of people that will criticize someone for the exact same freaking thing they've done is astronomical. People have no introspection and it's sickening to hear someone be constantly when more of half their problems are their own doing. How to think. It's not as common a skill as you might hope. Humans have a predisposition toward favoring information that aligns with or confirms their current opinions. In order to counteract that, we need to be willing to approach things without jumping to conclusions or immediately dismissing details that make us uncomfortable. Of course, that's not as easy as it sounds, particularly when there seem to be moral, ethical, or emotional elements involved. But it's also not impossible. The act of consciously thinking is pretty simple on its surface, even if it is a bit difficult. 1. When presented with a new piece of data, accept it and analyze it. What does this person mean when they say that tomatoes are sentient? 2. Compare that data to any previously held knowledge. What do I already know about tomatoes? Or about the requirements for sentience? 3. If the data challenges that knowledge, examine all of the available evidence. How do I know these supposed facts about tomatoes, neurology, and their lack of a connection? 4. Should the evidence be incomplete, seek to fill out. What don't I know? Is there any way that tomatoes could actually be the secret overlords of the universe, heck bent on the destruction of all other life? 5. Form a conclusion based on the evidence. It seems unlikely that my sandwich ingredients are capable of outsmarting me. 6. Attempt to disprove that conclusion. Excuse me, tomato. Are you currently plotting my demise? Speak up now, or I will eat you. When you examine the evidence and then form a conclusion, things tend to appear very differently than if you start with a conclusion and then look for evidence to support it. TLDR. Shockingly few people know how to think. Confirmation bias is a powerful thing. The skill to notice when they have a flat tire. The amount of cars riding on the rim isn't that big, but the fact that it's non-zero just baffles me. I wonder how many people know they have a flat, but don't realize how bad it is to drive on it and just think, oh, I'll deal with it soon. Empathy. How freaking hard is it to pretend you're anybody else that might have a harder, or at least different, experience in life than you? Googling. Jesus frick people, you have all the information you'll ever need at your fingertips. Stop asking Emmy how to do crap, just freaking Google IT. How to complain effectively to get a problem solved. Do not. This airline sucks. I'm never flying with you again. Do. As a long-time customer, the service I experienced today on flight 318 to Phoenix was not up to the high standard I have come to expect from your airline. This specific thing went wrong, and I would like this specific thing done to correct it. I look forward to discussing the matter with you further. Email etiquette. I'm not even talking on a spelling and grammar level. I'm talking full-time, white-collar professionals who have no idea how their emails are coming across. I have a client who tells people to get everything done ASAP. There is no discerning what is actually important to him. There is no thank you, just what comes across as a barked order. In person B is extremely nice and reasonable, but he is a late adapter to any kind of tech. And yeah, I still get taken aback by his emails, even though I know he's over there typing with 2 fingers, trying his hardest to get things done in a world not built for him. Another example is a lady who CCs everyone on everything, including people well above anything remotely having to do with what she has a question on. She then uses similar language as the above guy, exclamation marks everywhere. This needs to be done today. I don't know where he is, but I need help. Believe it or not, they're not really trying to be douches in their emails. They genuinely think this is okay, and that if it works in normal speech it's probably fine. The latter lady considers being a little overly dramatic to be her sense of humor. Those are extreme examples, but people really need to know when to CC, and when not to. How to ask a favor of a higher up without seeming like an but. How to ask a favor of someone equal to or below you without seeming like an but. How to keep it to the point and easy to grab the takeaways. It's bullet points. Bullet points. And when to say thank you. Always. Whenever anyone does anything for you. No matter how small. Good for you for acknowledging there's more to the story than them simply being dongs. Capital I. Simple awareness of their surroundings. Every time I go to the grocery store I feel like I'm going to have a freaking stroke from all the bumbling morons wandering around aimlessly, standing in entrances, crowding pathways, blocking aisles, etc. How to take care of themselves when sick or injured. I've met numerous people that think Tylenol, Advil, and Sudafed are different names for the same thing. They have no concept of how to handle a cold, sore throat or sprained ankle. It's sad. Conversely, a lot of people don't realize what generics are. They don't want ibuprofen. They want Advil. I've encountered plenty of people who were shocked when I, or someone else, explained that you can get the same active ingredient for less money if you don't buy the brand name. Competent reading skill. Played Cards Against Humanity at a college professor's house. I was blown away with grown adults to read off the cards sounding like a 6-year-old reading Clifford. I still vividly remember my junior high English class being made fun of because I could easily read Shakespeare passages when called on, and practically everyone else in the class had to slowly stumble through word by word. And this was in a very affluent suburb in western Washington. Only because I live in Massachusetts and it's relevant of this week, driving in bad weather. I saw a girl in a Hyundai stuck at an intersection yesterday, wheels spinning. I decided to do the nice guy thing and help her get unstuck by pushing her car back while she accelerated in reverse. She stopped about 2 car lengths back. Perfect spot to get some traction and go through the intersection. Freaking dumb Bellina gives me a little wave and drives forward 2 car lengths to the exact same spot where she was stuck, and waits for the light to turn green. The ability to Google. Half my friends, co-workers, people I interact with don't understand the basics of have a problem double check on Google. It's frustrating, and so easy to do. Budgeting. Especially when it comes to basic necessities like food, and then they complain and buy fast food, expensive water and salads. You don't always have to stand between paying your bills and being able to eat. I'm amazed by my mom's skills. She spends $100 on food but she managed to save around $150 from the original amount. Without coupons. We don't have much money but she managed what we had so efficiently. Get a membership card at a grocery store so you can get discounts. Get it with other people to Costco card etc. Buy stuff in bulk, it will save you so much money. Like buy big bags of rice, beans, lentils etc. Sometimes if you have an Asian or Middle Eastern ethnic food shop it can be cheaper to buy it there. Like a 10-20 pounds bag of rice is gonna last you for months. The same for spices. Bulk spices are cheap. Garlic powder, onion powder, herbs, pepper, salt, sugar. Don't spend your time buying stuff you will never use. If you are gonna make something exotic, only buy enough for that recipe. I will assure you that you won't know what to do with the rest, and it will probably shrivel up or rot and you have to throw it out. Frozen greens and fruit have so many more vitamins than a lot of fresh ones, as since they are frozen as soon as they are harvested, and they last for ages too. And you can easily make simply stir fry etc. Make a lot of food and freeze it, like soups, stews, even rice, seasoned etc. And it will taste pretty good. Keep a few dishes you can heat up if you work really late and don't have time for cooking. How to travel. Not talking about, like, international travel, but just meeting up at a friend's house or a public outing. People don't know things like how to read a railroad timetable. If you're getting a ride to the place, you also need to arrange some way to get home. Similarly, if you can only afford a one-way ticket, you really can't afford to go. That if the plan is to meet at someone's house and then go out to the movies, then if you're an hour late, it's no point asking where the house is. Oh my goodness. People going somewhere without a ride home is the absolute most annoying thing ever. Like people, where do you think you're going to stay? Oh, I'll figure it out later. No freaking do it now. This crap is so irresponsible. Time management. I don't even understand how someone can always be late. Is it that hard to leave 10 minutes early so you won't be late this time? Estimating. Take 3 items from the store shelves and have no idea what the total might be. They need a rope that goes from one post to another. No idea how many feet they should make sure to bring. They're driving 20 miles. How long will it take? The worst is exchange rate. If $1 American dollar is 400 lira, then something that is 20,000 lira is how many dollars? Every time I run into people that can't do this, I wonder how they get through life. Take 3 items from the store shelves and have no idea what the total might be. There is a whole game show based on how much people think items cost. How to file their taxes. Unless you've sold your home or got married, the average tax return is just putting the numbers from one piece of paper onto the screen. My first year filing as an adult, I had 22 W2s and 7 1099s. The freelance life is weird. Trying to figure things out for themselves before asking for help. If you have lost something, don't just ask where it is. Look for it first. This is increasingly common in children. On the other end, people not asking for help at all. Also, honesty. It isn't a skill, but it makes life so much simpler and better. If you have to lie to be nice, then think of something else to say. People, in the long run, prefer constructive criticism over false compliments. Obviously phrase it in a positive way. Note, this only works if you are generally a positive person in the first place. Another one is time management and priorities. Putting off your work or things you don't want to won't make it easier. Do it first, then you have nothing but carefree time to do whatever you want. The ability to look at an issue from someone else's perspective. People believe what they believe for a reason. Everyone should at least try to understand what that reason is, even if it is misguided. Budgeting and understanding how things like credit cards work. Or, I don't know, even just freaking looking at your bank account every once in a while. Being half decent with money. I've been dirt poor, decently well off, and everywhere in between. I've always managed to live within, or below, my means. I know so many goddamned people who make more money than me yet have no money. It seems to be the norm. It's weird how bad most people are at this. It's also weird how people act like I'm insane when I say nah, I'm not gonna go out drinking and spend $100 tonight, even though I can technically afford it. Getting a $3,000 paycheck every month doesn't mean you have a $3,000 monthly budget. Basic assembly, like being able to put together a bookshelf. It always blows my mind when people don't know how to follow instructions and use basic hand tools. I don't get all the jokes about how hard IKEA furniture is to put together. Like, just mimic the pictures and you'll be fine. The amount of people that are unable to change a flat tire surprises me. I honestly think it should be part of the driving test. I know how to change a tire in theory. In practice, I do not have the upper body strength to loosen those air compressor tights and lug nuts. Income versus expenses. I am not talking about being poor. Being poor is awful and that's not what I am talking about. I am talking about not wanting to live within their means because a person thinks they deserve nicer things. If you don't make a lot of money, brew your coffee at home. Nobody ever promised you a $6 latte. Intellectual empathy. The ability to imagine what someone else likely knows and doesn't know, and how to use that to explain something to them in a way they can understand. Like, you're not from their field. You ask about some special term from their field. Their answer is full of special terms from that field that you couldn't possibly know. Remembering stuff. Half of the conversations I have during a day are the same I had days before. I feel like an idiot because I seems to be the only person to remember, so I don't know if I am smarter or more stupid because I care so much and don't forget. It's really weird. Mostly it's simple and unimportant stuff, but I am still able to remember and most people don't. For example, I got into a new job and some coworker had a random chat with other coworker during break on his last day before small holidays for a week. He mentioned that his birthday was 2 days after he comes back and that he had to take the holidays like this because blah blah blah. When he came back, I was the only person to wish him a happy birthday. He was so surprised and everyone else too. They all asked me why I know and I was so confused. Crap like this happens way too often. We can't entirely control how good our memory is. Drinking enough water, eating well, and sleeping helps. But some of us just seriously lack. I have a short-term memory issue. You could tell me your name, but as soon as I walk away I will completely forget. I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm a jerk, but I'm amazed at the amount of people who can't read or have difficulty with simple paragraphs. Empathy. It doesn't take a genius to realize when someone is in pain sometimes. Like, oh I don't know, when their dad dies. Comparing that feeling to how it feels because you just dumped your fiancé is probably not a good thing. One-upping is annoying, but generally fine. However, there are some times when it is just entirely inappropriate. Reading a clock that isn't digital. I am absolutely amazed by the number of people I know who can't look at a clock with hands on it and know what time it is. All of this is one person I encountered through a girl I was seeing. This girl would beg to wash my clothes, clean up after me, buy me groceries, even fix me home cooked meals and bring them to me at work. Not because she knew that I had trouble doing some of those things myself because of my living situation, but because she had never been with a man who knew or wanted to learn how. This blew my freaking mind. Her last boyfriend of 8 years refused to even go down on her because he didn't see the point. The point is pee tastes goddamn phenomenal, Chris, and a lot of women enjoy it. I just don't understand some people. Cleanliness. The amount of people with extreme BO shocks me. Gender doesn't even matter. As great as you think greasy hair and brushed teeth and sweat smells, it isn't. And don't sit next to me in a lecture or the bus. I have seen insanely attractive people but change my mind when I could smell them 5 feet away from me. Or people that say they shower every day but still stinks. I'm not talking sweat. I don't know what you are doing, buddy, but it must be wrong. Don't you use shampoo, body wash, clean your butt, vagina, perfume, deodorant, wash your clothes? I get some people have BO they can't control, but it can't be this many. How to be considerate. The amount of people that fail to treat another human being with respect appalls me. When I worked in retail, the amount of people who were complete turds because they felt they had the right to be because they were buying things from my store was insane. And even in a regular setting, if someone says hello, say it back, or at least nod in their direction. Don't just ignore that person. How to clean a bathroom. Seriously, I'm actually gobsmacked when I use someone's bathroom and there's lime scale everywhere. There's nothing white. The toilet is literally brown. I try to clean my bathroom every week but no more than 2 weeks between each cleaning. Why would you leave the room where you crap and wash yourself in such a disgusting state? Spelling and grammar skills. Not necessarily online because of autocorrect, using mobile for edit, like me, etc. But certainly at least in professional settings. If it takes over 20 years to learn the difference between 2 and 2, that's not a learning curve I'm comfortable with. Some manager in an article I read. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.